morning, everybody. Jump on, say hi, and welcome to Stand Together. Monday morning, Stand Together. Day number 39 with 2 major days left. Jump on and say hi. Hope you're doing so super well and kicking some butt. Hey, great to see you all. Jump on. Hey, good morning, VJ. Good to see you, Di. Good to see ya. Who else is jumping on today? Sarah, Mary, good to see ya. Jump on and say good morning. Good morning, everybody. Good to see you, Nelly. Good to see Amanda. Good morning, Mia. Jump on and say good morning. Welcome to our second last day of this epic journey together. Sue's good to see you. Heidi, good to see you. Chris, good to see you. Good morning. Hey, has anyone watched every single one of these? You got to let me know, right? Kiana, good to see you. Jump on, give me a good morning. This is day number 39, right? 39. We got today and tomorrow left, and we're bringing it home with 2 pretty big ones. Jump on, give me a good morning. Welcome to this Stand Together, something I put together for you almost 40 days ago, just to help everybody going through lockdowns and challenges right now. And been so blessed to have some of you guys following us and listening to this, and having reached about 500,000 people having watched this live in the replay in Australia alone, and a couple 100,000 overseas has been pretty cool too. So thank you so much. Jump on. Good morning. Hey, good to see you. Good to see everyone jumping on to this live. Now, listen, if you're watching the replay, give me #replay. This is our second last one. Tomorrow is our last one of this Stand Together series, and tomorrow will be the longest I've ever gone live in a row for you guys. I think we stack it all up. I think this Stand Together, the last Stand Together, the Rise Togethers that I've done, where we're at about, since the start of the pandemic, I believe we're close to 4 months of lives in the last 18 months. How's that, hey? Maybe even a little bit more. 4 months. That's a lot. I hope you guys are taking a lot from this as well. Here to support you, here to give you some ideas and strategies, and in here to give you a little bit of a focus on the day. And that's what this is about as well. So listen, I promise you that in the last 3, and one thing you'll learn about me is whatever I promise I'll do, right? So what I'm going to do is, I shared with you yesterday a deeper version of it, but we talked about sacrifice, right? We talked about commitment and sacrifice. If you haven't watched that, watch it, because I've got to tell you that of everything that I've shared with you so far, I wanted to share with you these last 3 things, including today and yesterday and tomorrow. I wanted to share with you the 3 biggest things that I really believe right now in my head are the ones that I think that have been some of the biggest game changers, and the things over my career at building my empire, helping 350,000 people in our live audiences, reaching 250 million people online, and helping so many people through this challenge that they're going through. And of course, with coronavirus, this being a big impact on people personally, and also in their businesses as well. So listen, yesterday we spoke about sacrifice, and today I want to speak about something different. Through having helped a lot of people and having to build my own life, having to go from working out my identity of who I wanted to be, through going through all the challenges that I've had to go through personally, professionally, in my businesses, in life, having a couple of kids and being married for almost 10 years and all the things that happen in your life as you grow and you change. There's a lot of things I've learned over my time that I know have helped me. And one of those was yesterday's lesson around sacrifice. One of those was around the commitment, and not asking myself just what I want, but what I'm prepared to give up, sacrifice, do to get to that point. But here's one big thing, and I don't know if it's actually, I do know part of it is age. I think that as you get older, you probably start to realize this a bit more. And this is not playing the age card, because I'm certainly not 55 years of age or 75 years of age. But I think one of the things that I've learned over my time around getting anything you want in life, we're talking about starting the business, You might be sitting there saying, I'm thinking about starting a business. Well, if you're still thinking about starting a business after hanging out with me for a couple of weeks, now's the time to go off your ass and do something, right? If you're thinking about growing or expanding or scaling, all I can tell you is that this is the time better than any other time. And I can tell you that. I'll tell you that till I'm blue in the face, that this is the time. This is the greatest ever opportunity you're probably ever going to get in your life to build an empire. And this opportunity is going to go away because everything's going to go back to a sense of normality. Yes, we're going to have a little bit more of whatever the hell's going on with temperature checks and all those kind of different scannings and stuff. But you know what? When 9/11 happened 20 years ago, and one day I think now, that changed the world a lot around security and airports, and of course we went into a war for about 10 years with another country, and we joined into on that. But ultimately, did it majorly change the landscape of the entire world in the way that we operate our life and the way that we operate our businesses? Well, unless you're in one of those countries that was affected by that, not massively. It changed parts of the way we do our life, like going to an airport is no longer as fun as what it used to be 20 years ago, right? What I'm here to tell you is that even though we're in the challenge right now of what we're in, we are going to get back to a sense of more normality. The same thing we did after the tragedy of 9/11, the same that we did after the issues around the GFC, and the same thing is going to happen here, is that we're going to get back to a sense of normality, and of course, the human race will learn and grow because of the back of these challenges that we've been through, such as we did from the major fires over a century ago, as we've done from other plagues that have hit this country, and everything else that have happened over our years. Here's what we do know, though. We know that yesterday I spoke about sacrifice, and today here's what I want to share with you. I want to talk to you about what's going to be one of the greatest things that's ever going to stand in your way of achieving your goals. It is the greatest thing. It is the greatest thing. And I think that as years have gone on, I've probably realized this more and more and more and more, and spoken about this more and more and more, because I believe that this is such a huge thing that a lot of people overlook and they don't realize. That on your journey to create whatever you want, the greatest thing that has ever stood in your way, the greatest thing that will ever stand in your way, and take this from somebody who has met so many people and helped so many people, the greatest thing that will ever be in your way is you. It is the greatest thing that will ever stand in your way of what you want. It's you. You see, no one's going to stand in your way more than you do. You might get thrown off by one hater, one doubter, one disbeliever, one thing go wrong in your business, one thing go wrong in your life. But you know what? None of those things stack up to as much as what you can hold yourself back. One thing happening in your life, one thing happening with the customer, one thing happening with the business partner, one thing happening with a team member, one thing happening with, all of these things happen. This is life, right? But there is nothing at all that will ever stand in your way to achieve what you want more than yourself. And I got to tell you this, that in everyone's life, this is true. It doesn't matter whether it is your business, whether it is you're trying to create something within your own life, or of course, I talk about empires. There is zero above you. There is nothing. There is not a family member. There is not a partner in your life. There is not a friend. There is not somebody out there that doesn't support you as much as what you may not support yourself. There's no one out there that hates on you as much as sometimes you can hate on yourself. There's no one out there that holds you back as much as you hold yourself back. There's no one out there that's tormenting you as much as you can torment yourself. Listen to me now. If you can master that person that stares back at you in the mirror, if you can get good with that person, if you can work that out, it'll be one of the greatest gifts you'll ever give yourself in your entire life, is working out how you can back you. And I'm talking about this in every sense of the word. Because I can promise you, of all the things that have ever gone wrong in anybody's life, even the big things, even the people you don't know, the celebrities, the big business people out there have had all the challenge and controversy, there is nothing that plagues them more than what they plague themselves. There is nothing that holds them back more than what holds themselves back. You know what the reality is? No one really cares as much as what you do about your own life. No one really cares about your fuck-ups as much as what you do. No one really cares about your wins as much as what you do. No one really cares about your journey as much as what you do, because they've got their own journey. Even if they're in your crosshairs for a moment, even if they're unhappy with you for a moment, even if they don't support you for a moment, it doesn't matter. No one in your entire life is ever going to stand in your way more than what you will. You will always be your greatest enemy until you change. You will always be your greatest setback. You will always be your greatest setback. Not what happened or what happens. You will always be your greatest setback until you change. You will always be your greatest enemy. You'll always be your greatest critic. You'll always be your hardest customer. You'll always be your greatest number one enemy until you don't become that anymore, until you change. And you know what? It takes hard work, because you're the one that's in your head all the time. If something goes wrong, you obsess over more than anybody else does. If something goes right, you think about it, but then you probably bury it again with other things that are going wrong. Listen to me. There is no one that is ever going to stand in your way more than yourself. And once you understand that, once you give yourself that full level of permission to be who you truly are, warts and all, to fuck up, to win, to do all the things you want, to stand up and stand out, to do the things that you want to do. Until you do that, there is nothing else. There is nothing else, no one else on this planet that will hold you back from where you want to be more than you will do yourself. It is one of the greatest lessons I've ever learned. I didn't understand it. I didn't understand it when I first began. I didn't understand it when I first started to build my life and my businesses. I didn't understand it. When things went wrong, I held on to it longer than anybody else. When there was an issue in a company, I held on to it longer than everybody else. When there was a staff member issue, I held on to it longer than anybody else. When there was a blow up with a friend and you have an argument, I held on. Well, I realized that I was the greatest enemy of my own life. I'm the greatest roadblock in my own life. And listen, even as you grow and you have better and better connection with yourself, and you start to not sweat things as much. You might say, you know what, Aaron, I've really worked myself and I'm really backing myself and sweating. I'm not sweating as much as the small stuff. Okay, that's part of it. But are you letting yourself go? Or are you like that person holding on to those balloons that's not letting those things go, letting those things rise up? You might be backing yourself and not being as hard on yourself, but are you letting yourself grow? That's only part of it. Only part of it is being the person that's kosher with yourself, that says, you know what, it's okay, it's cool, I back myself, great. But are you really backing yourself? You see, I said to you that you'll always be your greatest ever roadblock. Now, that doesn't mean you'll be just your greatest ever enemy. That means you'll be your greatest ever roadblock to success too. Because the person that's holding you back from the life that you really want to live is in the same fucking mirror, staring back at you. It's you. You're the person that's deciding whether you can have more. You're the person that's deciding whether you want to go and start that business or work with that person or do that marketing or go out there and create that new adventure. You're the person that's not just holding you back or holding you away from risk. You're also holding yourself away from opportunity. You're holding yourself away from pain, but you're holding yourself away from pleasure. You're holding yourself away from challenge, but you're also holding yourself away from opportunity. You see, you'll be your greatest ever enemy. You'll be your greatest ever person to hold you back, your greatest ever critic, but you also will be the person that doesn't let your balloon rise to the highest that it can. That's part of it too. So if you're going to really do this, understand something. If you are your greatest roadblock, then you need to allow yourself to heal from the challenges in your past and the wounds, to let yourself know that you are a fucking human and you will make mistakes, To let yourself know that the world is full of naysayers, doubters, and disbelievers, and that's okay, because most of the time, those people that hate, doubt, and disbelieve on you, they got a lot of shit going on in their own life. And what they really need is they love, attention, care, and probably a big hug from someone that they really love that they haven't had for a while. But secondly, you're also going to be the person that holds yourself back from really raising to where you want to go. Up and up and up and up and up. Where do you want to go? How many businesses do you want to have? How much money do you want to have? Where do you want to live? What life do you want to have? What partners do you want to have? What friends do you want to have? It's never too late to say, I want to have more in my life and I want to raise to where I want to go. So you will always be your greatest ever roadblock. Your greatest ever roadblock from dealing with the challenges, but your greatest ever roadblock from holding yourself back from the opportunities. So I'll leave you with this. If you started again, what would you do differently? How would you approach life? What would you do now? What would you pursue? What business would you do? Who would you have around you? What decisions would you make and move forward? What would you do? Listen to me. The life you have right now, if there's things you want to change in your life, then the only thing holding you back from changing that is you. The things you want to have, the only thing holding you back from having those things is you. Life is never too late. Life is never too early for you to make the changes you need to change. You'll always be your greatest enemy until you become your greatest best friend. But you'll always be the person to hold yourself back from what you really want. What are you afraid of? Someone might laugh, you might fail. You want to know something? Of every business idea you'll probably come up with and probably start, I'm going to tell you about half the time you're probably going to fuck that up and it's not going to work. Every day I make decisions that don't work. Every day I make bad decisions. Every day I make good decisions. Every day some businesses go well. Every day some don't. Every day things happen. But you know what? We still have to move forward. We still have to find a way. And we still have to find a new level of who we're going to be. So listen to me when I tell you this. You'll always be your greatest enemy. And until you change that, you're always going to battle with yourself. And the second thing is you're always going to be the person that stands in the way of your own success more than anybody else. You'll be your greatest ever lead balloon. You'll be your greatest ever person that pulls you back. So it's time. It's time for you now to allow yourself to heal from anything that's holding you back. It's also time for you to let yourself float up to the highest level that you want to get to and achieve the highest amount of things that you want to achieve. And it's time to do that. It's time for you to live the life you want to live because you want to live it. And you know what? If you can just really get okay with you, then let's see how far you can go. Tomorrow's our last lesson, and I've got a big one for you. Today has been about the greatest ever enemy and the greatest ever person that's ever going to hold you back from what you want is a person that's staring at you in the mirror. It's a person that's listening to this. It's a person that's been with me through this challenge, through this change. And it's you. And if you can get that right, if you can just get that right, you'll achieve things you're going to be proud of for your entire life. But you have to make the decision, the commitment, and take the action to move yourself forward to do this. Because once you master you, there is literally nothing else in life that will get in your way. That's the difference. Till tomorrow, let's make sure we're standing together. Let's make sure we're kicking butt. And let's make sure that we move forward and create the life we want to have. And you know what? It's just you. If you can get through that, you can get through anything else. Much love. Kick some butt. And I'll see you tomorrow for our very last stand together. Ciao.